Welcome to our first episode of Hidden Heroes. In this episode, we will be interviewing an F&B service crew member. During the circuit breaker, there were a ton of restrictions and measures that were put in place to curb the spread of COVID-19. Safe to say, almost all of the sectors in Singapore's economy were affected, including the food and beverage industry. What is it like to work at a job that requires you to come into contact with multiple people during these pandemic times? Watch on to find out. Alright, so we have Elena here with us today. Can I get you to introduce yourself, please?
Hi everyone, I'm Elena. I'm currently working at a dessert cafe, but I used to work at a bubble tea shop previously and another cafe in the CBD area. Yes.
Okay, can I ask how long have you been working at your job?
For the current one, I've been working there since September 2020. Yes, and I'm still working there now.
Okay. Can I get you to describe your day-to-day job, please?
My day-to-day job involves the first thing we do when we first arrive, we have to clock in, and then we'll go wash our hands, or some people prefer to put on their apron first. We wash our hands because hygiene is important, especially during COVID. And then our job scope involves taking orders, so you can be the cashier. We can do food prep, so we make like the food for the customers, or we'll also stock up items for like in case like we run out and stuff, or we'll prepare the items that we'll be stocking up. And for the night shift, we would normally at the end of the day we'll clean up, and then
That's when you guys will close up the store and then you all can go home, is it?
yes,
I see.
after we've like ensure that everyone has finished their job.
Okay. So what makes you want to be part of this industry?
So I like being part of the F&B industry because I like preparing food. So if you see me preparing your food, know it's made with love. And I find that the F&B industry is more exciting and more fun to be in, but that's my opinion. So if you prefer the retail, then go ahead. I just feel like the community and the staff, they laugh more and like they talk more, they interact more rather than retail. That's what I observe. I think the only thing that would keep me from F&B would be having to get the food hygiene cert. But it's no problem for my current job because they sent me for the course. So I currently have the food hygiene cert now. The only problem is that you have to renew after 5 years. So that would be the one thing that will make me go to retail if I do not wish to renew certificate.
Then, how has the COVID-19 pandemic affected your work?
There's not much that I can say because I only joined my current job during the COVID-19, which I'm glad I actually managed to get a job. If I were to compare it to my previous job at the bubble tea store, it was quite quiet at the outlet that I was at for the bubble tea store. But now, for some reason, like especially now when there's like during like a phase 2 again, there's no dining in. You can only like take away or delivery. For some reason, the orders seem to be increasing a lot. Like it's a lot more than dining in for some reason. Maybe it's because some people find it more convenient, or they just want something refreshing, especially now when the weather is so hot and they don't have to come down. They can just order directly. So that's why I think the orders have quite busy at the store.
So what would you say are some of the challenges that you have faced in this industry?
I don't have a specific example in mind, or at least on the top of my head. I can't really think of a specific thing. But I've encountered customers where like at the place that I work at, we allow people to customize their things. And sometimes there is a lot of orders and it's a bit hard to keep track. There are certain things that we're very used to, so our hands just automatically go to a place. So when you place something, so you change something that's originally there, it's just a bit like, oh, we have to stop ourselves. Yeah, so if we make a mistake, there are some customers that are a bit rude about it. We try our best to accommodate to everyone's likes and dislikes, and we apologize if we made a mistake, but it wouldn't hurt to be a little bit nicer, telling us just be nice to us. Be nice to your F&B staff if they ever make a mistake. Just tell them nicely, and I'm sure they'll be more happy to change it for you.
So have any of the challenges that you have faced made you like consider quitting or like finding another job?
I don't think the challenges itself has definitely made me quit or like consider quitting the job, because like this the only reason that I will quit a job is because I'm juggling school with work. So the only reason I will quit a job is so I could focus on school.
So what would you say are some good experiences that you have had while working in this industry?
My whole experience in the F&B industry, I would say it's quite fun. Like every job I worked at has their own quirks. When I worked at the bubble tea store, I worked with like two friends that I know from school, so it was always very fun. I always worked with them, and we'll always play pranks on each other. Like we'll pour this into their drinks, then they wouldn't know, so we just watch them like drinking. I cannot also. So there's actually a video of me like drinking weird things. For my current job, I would say the whole experience is a good thing, because the people that I work with they're very nice, very fun. Even it can be very stressful maybe during the rush hour and stuff, and somehow someone will still be able to like make a joke out of something, and it will just make things more lively. There was this one instance where like during Chinese New Year, this auntie gave us this group of aunties came, like this posh group. So during Chinese New Year, there was this group of posh looking aunties. They came in, and then they ordered, and then they sat down. Then before they left, this auntie came out to us, and then she gave all of us, like whoever was working at that moment, she gave all of us like angpaos. It was like $10 angpaos, but it was just so nice and stuff. I really even asked for anything. I was just so lucky to be working that day. But yes, I don't know who the auntie is, but I love you, auntie. Thank you for that $10.
Alright, so let's move on to the would you rather section. First question, would you rather work the opening shift, mid shift, or closing shift at your job?
I think I would rather work the mid shift. The opening shift, can be a bit too early sometimes, and it's hard to wake up. And the closing shift is cleaning. But I would say the closing shift is the most exciting for me. It's the most like things that happen, in my opinion. So it's a bit more fun. But if I had to pick one, I would definitely pick the mid shift, because it's like a nice in between of opening and closing.
So here's the second question. Would you rather cashier or food prep?
I would obviously rather food prep. I'm not a very I'm okay with socializing. It's fine for me, but like I just much rather do food prep, because it's more freedom per se. And the only downside of food prep is that it gets very stressful because the amount of orders. Whereas cashier, you just stand there, take orders, pass it to them. That's all. But other than that, I would much rather do food prep.
Here's the third question. Would you rather a full or partial uniform, or just have basic guidelines regarding your uniform at work?
I think I would much rather have just basic guidelines where, like in my current job, the only requirements for our outfit would be just long pants, covered shoes, no long sleeves so you don't stain your sleeves, and hair must be tied up, and yeah, other than that you can wear anything you want. The only thing I wouldn't mind about a uniform is that I don't have to pick up my outfit every single time I go to work. I can just throw this shirt on and then go to work. But I will have to, for me, in my opinion, I would want to change out of the uniform before I leave my workplace, because I don't want to be wearing that uniform everywhere. But other than that, yes, I would much rather have basic guidelines.
Alright, so here's the last question. Would you rather, and I think this is quite obvious already from the previous question that we had, would you rather F&B or retail?
I would much definitely rather F&B over retail, but I wouldn't mind giving retail a try one day, maybe when I get tired of making food for people.
Before we come to the end of our interview, we have just 2 more questions to go through. So firstly, what do you think are some misconceptions about your job?
I think one misconception that people may have, I'm saying may have, about F&B is that the people who are working at F&B, they don't have like, good qualifications in terms of education. That's why they can't get a better paying job or just a better job in a sense. But I don't. It's not true in my opinion because a lot of hotels now, or at least quite a few of them, the chefs come from really big places like hotels. So they come from very well-known hotels, and then they decide to like quit their job at the hotel and open up their store because maybe they have a different set of dreams, different set of goals. So it's not great. It's not great to look down on people who work in F&B just because maybe they work in a hawker center and it's not like a high class hotel. So yes.
And lastly, is there anything you want the viewers to know?
I think remember to clean your trays and as much as you can to keep the table clean because it's basic human courtesy to do at least something to help them through the day. They're not earning much, so you should at least do something to be kind. You gotta be kind to these people or anyone, even in fast food restaurants, even in cafes. Just help them return. It makes things easier.
And that's especially when like they have the capacity to do it, right? Then why not just go a step further?
Yes.
Alright, thank you for your time today, Elena. Thank you for taking the time to share all these interesting things with us today and allowing our viewers to know more and learn more about the F&B industry.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Hidden Heroes. Please like, share, and subscribe for more similar content. And don't forget to be kind to our F&B workers. Comment down below on what job you'd like to see us cover next, and feel free to drop us a DM for any inquiries. We hope to see you in the next episode, and until then, remember to stay safe and mask up. And I think the other experience is I wouldn't say good experience, it's more of awkward experience. But there was this I had 2 instances where 2 guys tried to, shoot their shot and stuff, which apparently is a very normal thing in F&B. But it never happened to me before until I worked in this job. And then they just asked me for my IG and stuff, and I was like, I'm taken. but but yes, it's a very good ego boost. But it's just very awkward for me. Imagine just someone come up to you and then you're just like, but yes, thank you.